We'll be live.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. Today, you are here with the RDK and Dom Universe channel. Thank you for clicking on this video. We hope you guys enjoy this video as we will as well. Before we get into any of the topics today that we have at hand, and boy, do we have topics. Dom, how are you doing, bro?
I'm doing good, man. Just blessed to be here once again, man. Happy to be living, man.
Yeah, man. I hear that, bro. I hear that. That's good to hear.
All right, so for the first thing today we got for you, Raheem, is when it comes to people being celebrities or in the public eye, what do you think the price of fame really is?
It's going to take definitely privacy. You have to either give up some form of your privacy, whether that be like where you live, how you live, the times you go out. Like you're gonna have to you can't just go to Walmart, at 10 p.m. If you're a celebrity, like if you're Drake or, if you're Barack Obama, right? Like you can't just, you can do whatever you want, but just know you're gonna get attention. But that's just the privacy. I feel like the price of fame, there's definitely a price. You're definitely gonna have to, on a serious note, you're gonna have to leave some people behind. That's like the hard truth. Like there's some people, there's a saying, everybody that's with you can't go with. What's the saying? I done forgot the saying, but I know what I'm trying to say, but I don't know how to say it. But basically, you can't bring everybody with you to your destination. Like everybody can't come. Like you can only bring a select group of people, and that select group of people has to be better than you. Not only like-minded, but also better. So I think the price of fame has a very high cost to it. In summary.
Okay. I think if you ask me, I'm to piggyback off what you said, it's friends, because not everybody wants to see you be successful. A lot of people are your friends now because you're on that same level that you're on with them. Yeah. So once they see like, oh, this person's starting to level up, I don't think I want this person to start leveling up. And that's where you start to see a lot of people be like, to start stabbing their friends in the back.
Isn't that sad, bro?
I mean, it is sad, but it's people, because you never know anyone's true intentions when they start to become friends with you. Because when people becomes friends with somebody, oftentimes because either they got something that they don't have, or you just truly like that person as an individual, and you will never know that person's true intentions until they show you. And 9 times out of 10, you won't get to see that until you reach the low or the high point in your life. And if you hit that low point, you'll see them disappear. You'll never hear from them. But if you hit that high point, it's like you see them all the time. They're asking for money. And if you don't give it to them, they're like, man, I'm about to go to Twitter and dog this man. And then all of a sudden, everything you did in high school or all the negative things you did together is in the media at that point. And it's like, you can't do anything about it. So the true price of fame right there is not just your privacy, but it's your relationships. Because at that point in time, not every female wants to be in the public eye, because celebrities have a damaged reputation of being not faithful. Because you go on the road and you're like, oh, I got this celebrity here and this celebrity here and this model here, this model there. And it's like, not every female is already equipped with the emotions to handle that.
Yeah. Wow, those are good points that you made, bro. Like I never thought of it as deep as in depth as you just did. I didn't realize specifically, like it's definitely a high price, because like you said earlier, like when you're at the lowest of lows, silent. It's like you never even knew them, right? But if you're at the highest of highs, you're on top of the world. You're making this amount of money. You're doing these things. You're collaborating with these people. I feel like that's the key. That's what makes people. It's not really like because you can make a lot of money, but keep quiet about it, right? Like J. Cole's a prime. J. Cole makes millions of dollars, but is very secretive about it, right? But I think it's like networking. When people see, ooh, he knows this, or she knows her, or she knows him, or he knows her, like, wow, these are important people. How did he or how did she, how did they, get to know these people? Then, like you said earlier, that's when like, the clocks start to realign. This is when the clocks they don't match anymore. They start to go some another direction. Counterclockwise is the analogy
Yeah.
I used to make. People will switch up on you, but the main important thing also is that um, people will make time for you if at the same even at the same level, if you're at the same level, if you can tell who your real friends are, right? And somebody broke this down to me one time, and it really broke my mind. They said by the time you're at your end days, like in life, like well into your old age, God have it, right? You're probably gonna have one, maybe two of those friends that you've known your entire life. Only one or two, bro. And that really shook me because I was like, who are these people? Like who? Because I couldn't think of it. I was like, have I met these people yet? Have I not met them? So back to your point though, the price of fame is intently high, bro. I agree.
Yeah. And it's scary that it's that high because uh, even now for today's, you look at the media now and you see all these rappers passing away, and not just rappers, but it's rappers and other celebrities, but it's predominantly black rappers because once we get famous, we have this big entourage because it's that guilt that comes with it that people are like, man, you got all this money, you can't help me out. You know where we grew up and how we came up. And it's that guilt of like, yeah, I know how we came up, I know how we grew up, and I know you. And then people tend to use that mindset to you. It's a manipulative thing because it's like, I see you have money and you don't want to share it. That's wrong. And when you don't want to share it or you refuse to share it, then it's like one of two things: either they're gonna try to embarrass you, or they might try to kill you. And that's the scariest part about it, is because you look at it and it's rappers getting set up from people they call their brother or their best friend, and it's those people who either set it up or they're even pulling the trigger. They're at the opposite end of the bullet, or just giving the order. And it's the scariest thing to get famous, especially in today's day and age, because you never know who's closest to you. Because the saying is, keep your friends close, but your enemies closer.
Mm.
But at this point, your friends are your enemies, and your enemies are your friends. And if you don't pay close enough attention to either one of them, you don't know who's who. Sometimes that snake in the grass, it might be green. You never know, because you can just go out there, start walking in the grass, and the green snake come up and bite you, and you never saw it
Yeah.
because you failed to realize who was who and what was what at that point in time. And there's always a warning sign, and it's usually the smallest thing, from a look that somebody gives you once you do something, or how somebody starts talking, or how they start texting you back. And it's the smallest thing. And if you don't get onto it,
Man, yeah,
scary things, man.
bro. It's to your point, bro. It's like, wait a minute. I worked hard for this. This is my mindset. I worked hard for this money, bro. So you should understand how I feel if we grew up in the same places, and then I'm making it in life, and then say what you chose your route. I didn't force you. You chose your route. I chose my route, and then I do well enough in life to where I have this amount of money or this amount of resources. Like, bro, like I got more. Say I have a wife. Say I have children. I have priorities. I have to. It's not because I don't have the fun. I have the money to give it to you, but I'm not gonna just give you handouts because guess what? Now everybody else gonna want handouts, and then where I'm gonna be at, I'm gonna be broke. And I can give you, as a friend, I can give you more than just money. I can give you tips on how to maybe I can show you how I made this money, and then you can make your own money. Right? That's a real friend. It's not just me giving you money because if I give you money, you're not gonna learn how to make that money. If I give you $1 million, you're not gonna make another $1 million. Highly unlikely that you're gonna double that million, right? It'd be more likely for you to make a million if I showed you how did I make a million. Well, I invested in this money. Well, I did this. I networked with these people. I collab with those persons, right? Show me the show me the actions, not just the handout, right? So I definitely agree to your point.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like with our generation now, no one really wants to work, because people, especially our generation, I see there are some people that I was in classes with freshman year never show up. They were only in there for the parties or to get to know the people. And then the next thing I know, they didn't disappear. I never see them again. I hit them up and be like, "Hey, where you at? Man, I don't feel like coming to class." Our generation doesn't want to work hard for anything, so it's like once they see somebody working hard, we all feel entitled because we know of the person. That the way my grandma used to tell it to me was, you have your friends and you have your acquaintances, and you have to separate those two. You have to get to know those two, and the easiest way, she said, to figure that out is, do you know their parents? Your real friends, you'll know their parents. You can walk in their house and be like, "Hey mom, how you doing?" But your acquaintances, you can say, "Hey mom," and she'll say, "Hey" back to you. But the real difference between the two is, how did their dad react to you? Can you call their dad and be like, "Hey, I need some help, I need some advice in this"? Your real friend's dad will treat you like you're their son, but like your acquaintance's dad hardly is going to know you. Like your friends and your acquaintances, your friends are going to turn into your family. Your acquaintances are those people that you can realize and be like, "Hey, I can cut you off." Yes, sir. Big hot.
Because he's hot. He's on fire right now. He's on fire right now.
Yes, sir. Big things in the chat, boy.
It has been, how many days has it been? It's been over a little over 2 weeks now since the official, or a week and a half, I can't remember. Since the exit of Sir the Donald. It's been, yeah, and the entry of the Malarkey Joe and first VP, Black woman vice president, Kamala Harris.
Yes, sir.
That's a milestone, bro. That's something to be proud of. People are like, "Oh, she's not the president." Well, hey, that's a pretty high position to hold, right? And to be a Black woman, because you and I both know, Black women, Black people have it hard. But Black women, it's like for us Black men, we have 4 barriers, right? That we have to accomplish just to be 10 times better. Black women got 6, bro. They got 2 more after that 4 that we have. So we understand how hard it must have been for her to get to that position, to network. Like, kudos to her, bro. Kudos to her. But the topic, the original topic was, what should we expect from President now Joe Biden?
I can't even lie. First off, hands up, all praises not only to the Lord, but also to the Vice President Kamala Harris. That is Black excellence right there.
That is, bro.
First off, she's not only the first Black vice president and a female, but she's also graduated from an HBCU. So we have to give credit where credit is due.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yes. But to Joe Biden, I feel what should we expect? I feel that the bar for a presidency is so low that we can't really expect anything, especially out of these next 4 years, because not for our community. Now, maybe he might go in and make some radical changes or that we won't see coming, but like for right now, I don't see too much because this bar has been set so low that I don't think that Joe Biden in 4 years, I don't think he can undo a lot of the damage that's been done in the past 4 years, because you have these radical people who are out here thinking like, "Oh, he's not my president. Donald Trump's still my president." And it's like, if we've come to a point that we cannot accept or respect a man that was voted in by the majority of the United States, that won fair and square, why is it? No, not even that. How are we supposed to expect him to build on something, especially if he has to go through all of these loops to undo the things that Donald Trump has done? So before he can even progress, he has to regress and go in and undo a lot of the things that Trump has done. So like the next 4 years, I'm sure Biden will think of something to do, but like the expectation set so low, I don't think anyone knows what to expect.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate just for the sake. I agree with you. All honesty, I actually like it's gonna be hard for him to kind of make any significant changes that like affect like, oh, what a drag, because like he's one man, they're Kamala and Joe Biden, they're 2 people, right? They're not, it takes a community to rebuild a community. Like you can't have. So I agree with you. But I'm gonna play devil's advocate. I'm gonna say, you know what? He can do it, right? Him, and Kamala, they can. I need to start the president and the vice president. I need to because I'm calling them like I know these people. I don't know these people, like
Yeah.
But hey yo, Joe and Calm, Calm, and Joe, Bye, But the president and the vice president, what I hope they would do is they would do the best to rebuild, like you said, but also to actually make those direct changes, like school system that was made that they made in democratic debates. You systematic racism. I feel like that's a big one that you need to attack first. The law enforcement. You need to fix the infestation in the law enforcement because there is an infestation in the law enforcement. Right? It's not. They're not there to protect and serve as we hear now. And that's a very opinionated statement, but I stick by it and I stand by it. It's a very infestative organization. Um, they need to fix different things, just like I said, the school system earlier, other things that need to be fixed, right, in our country. So I'll say they do the best they can in the span of 4 years. Can it be done? Absolutely. In God's will, absolutely, it can be done. But definitely going to take a lot more people than just the two of them.
Yeah. And the reason I said I don't see them doing a lot, it's specifically because, like you said, it takes a community, but at the same time, not only does it take a community, but inside of that community, it takes unity. And as a nation, we're not fully united. We're divided between red states and blue states. And it's really just
the divided states of America.
Hey, basically.
But like the divided states.
We just so happen to be like a red state can be next to a blue state, and Biden can try to fix something, and then that red state will be later on to try to catch on to it. So like, say for instance, like marijuana, for instance, Denver, Colorado, they've legalized it. You can smoke it, you can do anything like that. But when you come down south to Alabama, it's like, if you're gonna do this, it's illegal unless it's prescribed from a doctor. And then again, even if it's prescribed, you have to get CBD oil. You can't go out and just get marijuana. So like the red states versus the blue states is basically what Biden's up against. And then when you say like police and things like that, the criminal justice system, that's so corrupt that's going to take more than 4 years to fix. I mean, you and me being from Maryland, I know you've seen like the videos and the news things and stuff like that of just how corrupt those police officers truly are.
Yo, Baltimore police mentioned both side story. He and I, we are both from Baltimore. We didn't know each other when we were in Baltimore. We are both from Baltimore, and we moved down south to the southern states. And the crazy side story, I'll get back to. Remind me what the topic is. I'm probably gonna forget. But
I got you.
We went to the same high school, and how we met was he was a new student that came to the high school that we went to, and he was just new. We were in the band, and I saw one day this is like after like a pep rally or something, and you had on your phone a Ravens background, and I said, oh, he likes the Ravens. That's interesting. I'm from Baltimore, right? So I asked him, I said, are you a Ravens fan? He was like, yeah. Yeah, I'm a Ravens fan, right? And then I said, oh, really? I said, are you from Maryland? He said, I am. I was from Baltimore. I said, me too. Like, we're both from Baltimore. So that's one, right? We're both from Baltimore. And then we started talking, like getting to know each other. And then he mentioned something about, his birthday coming up in like a month. And I said, this was September. My birthday's in October. I'm like, a month, huh? I said, when's your birthday? He was like, October. And then my birthday's in October as well. I said, so that's 2 checks. I said, cool. And I asked him what date. And then he said, it's the 6th. I said, bro, mine's the 9th. Right? And we're the same year. Like he's literally 3 days older than me. And so all this was in like the span of an hour. And so I'm like, hold on. That's this. And then I asked him, this is a weird question, but I was like, I got to now, right? It's too similar, right? I asked him, bro, what hospital were you born in? And he said, I don't know. I said, okay, I want you to go home, ask your parents what hospital you born. I'll do the same. Bro, I went home and asked my parents what hospital. They wrote it down on a card. Bro, I kid you not. The next day, I walked right up to Dom and was like, bro, I'm going to tell you the hospital. And I told him, and he was like, yeah, bro, that's the. I was like, oh.
Yo.
And then I asked him, bro, what doctor? He was like, I don't know. I was like, yeah, my parents probably wouldn't know. But we were probably delivered by the same doctor. Like, fate has it probably delivered by the same doctor 3 days later. Right. So that was my story. So yeah, we're both from Maryland, and yeah, the Baltimore police, the how corrupt it is.
Yeah, that's just sad how corrupted it. And then the mayor that they elected, he's trying to fix it, but like he's got sheriffs and people who have tenure that it's going to take a lot more than just I don't like you, you're fired. He has
Did you see that? I didn't even cut you off, but did you see that when the mayor was like, "Easy, shawty, easy"? Do you see that?
Yeah, easy, shorty. Come on. Hey, that mayor looked at. Hey, that's a mayor for the people right there.
Yeah.
He had the afro and everything. That's a mayor for the people. But like, he's gonna take. It's gonna take more. It's gonna take a community effort to fix the corruption that we have currently. So until we begin to come together, it's 50-50 against Biden. Like you have the people backing them and you have the people with them. It's the same way in the White House. It's 50-50 against Biden. And in order for Biden to get things done, he has to get unity. So until we unite, not to say that we're completely divided, there are some things that we all agree upon. But then there are certain things that we don't agree upon, like Black Lives Matter versus Blue Lives Matter.
Can I say something about that? Just
go ahead.
One tiny thing. Blue lives aren't really a thing. Sorry, hate to bust your bubble, but that's like saying for us, like we're students. Student lives matter. Well, wait a minute. Professor lives matter. Teacher, wait. That's your profession. You should just say my life matters. That's personal. That makes more, at least you're making sense. Blue lives matter literally makes no. Name me a person who is blue. Literally blue. Smurfs. The color blue. Smurfs? Get out.
Smurfs.
Get out. Get out.
I mean, and if you go back and you look at it, Blue Lives Matter only came up because BLM versus BLM. And they wanted to have a protest to our protest. They wanted to. That's all it was. It's you have a reason to protest. Let me have a reason to protest, and that's all that was.
Bro, there was an Instagram post that I saw during the protest this last summer, the 2020 protest, and it said because police were using police brutality and there was a post that said, so you're just going to use police brutality at the police brutality protest using police brutality. I was just like, well, that makes no sense. Why would you do that? This person is speaking facts. Get this man a raise. And so, yeah, it's, wow. Blue lives matter. We're not saying listen, this means Black lives matter. There's a line after that. This means... So what I was saying earlier was this simply means Black lives matter. There's a line right here. That means the statement has ended. There's no more. It doesn't say Black lives matter 2. It doesn't say Black lives matter more. It just says Black lives matter. Because obviously it does not. Because we are being beaten and killed on the streets on national TV every day. They're not beating white lives. They're not beating police officers. So there's no point of you saying blue lives matter. There's no point of you saying all lives matter. All lives are not dying in the streets. It's Black lives. It's Black men. It's Black women. Even Black children, bro.
The way they're going to counteract that when we say Black Lives Matter is they're going to say, well, what about those of us in the streets? What they don't realize is that branches all the way back to systemic racism. If you go back, even for our school, so Buckhorn, we viewed that as like, oh, I hate it here. I don't like it here. It's such a country school. We never have anything. But then you go back and you go look at like Jemison before it turned into Johnson, or even Butler, and like the way that these county lines are drawn, where it goes all the way back to the white schools had all of the tax revenue to go to their schools. So when the black schools were being built, it was just a school with the bare minimum requirements to be considered a school. So when we see only our kind in a school, and then the teachers that they hire don't really even care if they even show up, and then the principals don't care, and then in our neighborhoods we all are struggling to make money, and then one person robs another person, it's a domino effect. Because once you put all of us in a neighborhood that you called the ghetto, they were considered ghettos when they were built. When you put us there, you had an expectation of violence is going to erupt here. So once you built that, and then it never got any better, you can't expect that to get better overnight, especially once we say, oh, Black Lives Matter. Well, they do matter. And you can't compare us to those people in the streets, because those people are doing what they have to do to survive at that point, because you can't just go out and get a job in those neighborhoods, because for one, the color of our skin is already a barrier against getting jobs. And when people say, no, it's not, then my question to them is, when I fill out an application, why is there a check mark that says, what race are you? Why does it matter if I'm Black, white, Hispanic, or other? What does that matter? It's just proof right there that it's only there because businesses have to keep up a status quo of diversity. And it's sickening at that point. Like, if you have to keep a certain amount of Black people in your business, I don't want to work there, because then you're just keeping me there as a number.
I'll counter that. There's a quote, not counter, I'll add to that. There's a quote in Boys in the Hood. Yes, I'm quoting Boys in the Hood. But it was important because it is made by Lawrence Fishburne. So please, anytime Lawrence Fishburne speaks, you listen. So he said exactly, hush your mouth, all right? The king is speaking, right? So he said, he was talking about gentrification, and he was talking about, why do you think the Korean neighborhoods do so well? Why do you think the Italian neighborhoods do so well? Why do you think the Indian neighborhoods do so well? Because they invest in their people. That's why they do so well. The neighborhoods are Indian. The neighborhoods are Korean. The neighborhoods are Italian. The businesses are Italian. The businesses are Korean. The businesses are Indian. They invest in each other. Black neighborhoods, we don't invest in each other. You know, there's a reason. In Baltimore. We're from Baltimore, so you know this. There's a reason why there's gun stores and liquor stores on every corner, just about every block. There's a reason for that. That wasn't just by accident. There's a reason for that. They're trying to, in the Lawrence Fishburne said in the movie, they're trying to kill us. Slowly but surely, they want us to die. They want us, off the face of the earth. That's what they want. So that we didn't do that. That's because they put us there, and they put those businesses there to destroy us even further. But what we have to do as Black people, we have to say, like you said earlier, it's kind of hard to fix something that's been so demolished, and then try to, you got to undo all that, then you got to but I say to all Black people in general, I'm specifically speaking to Black people, because I've been Black my entire life, so I don't know who else I can't speak on the experience of a Italian woman. Like I can't speak on that. But to all Black people, we should invest in our neighborhoods, but listen to this. I don't mean invest. I don't mean go and live in some random neighborhood. I mean show the people in the neighborhood how to grow that neighborhood, so that neighborhood could become a literal dynasty instead of the projects, instead of Section 8 housing, instead of the ghetto, right? Build these Black neighborhoods, have Black banks, have Black businesses, have Black churches, have Black grocery stores, have Black businesses in your organizations in your neighborhood. That way, people don't worry how people will be more inclined to buy something in our neighborhoods if they were structured, even if they are high priced. If it's Black owned, I'd be more likely to buy it.
And that's all it is. You just have to invest. If we don't invest, then we won't build, man. That's all there is. We have to help each other grow. And then I saw a quote yesterday. No, it was today. by an artist named RDK, and he said, "I will gladly lift my friends up, but I will not carry you." And by that, he went on to explain that if you need a hand to help you lift, if you need a hand, I'll give you that hand. But if I feel that I'm doing all the work for you or I'm giving you everything, I'm letting you go. So for our people, like, don't expect a handout. If somebody gives you a handout, then take it and figure out what you need to do with it. So if somebody gives you some money, figure out how to invest it. Somebody somebody puts you on and gives you a job, then work hard to keep it. Like, don't expect for people to carry you. Expect for people to lift you up, basically.
Exactly. Don't just exactly, bro. Don't just go to the 9 to 5. And to add to what he said, don't just go to the 9 to 5, and then as soon as 9 o'clock hits, you're working. As soon as 5 o'clock hits, you leave. No, no, no. After 5 o'clock, you go home and you work on your dreams. Before 9 o'clock, you're working on your dreams before you even go in. You're ahead of the game, right? You're talking to the CEO of the company that you're working at, if you can, or the president, or the manager. You're trying to figure out how can I better put myself in position. A lot of times the statement of it's not what you know, it's who you know is so true, bro. Like you do not have to be the smartest person in the room to make the biggest impact. If I die today, I want to keep that quote. That was excellent. You do not have to be the smartest person in the room to make an impact. I hope that's not already quoted, but I don't want to.
I don't know. It might be.
It might be, but either way, that was good. I either I learned something or I just came up with that on the spot. But yeah, man, it's about what kind of impact can you make, right? There's this king.
Oh my God.
There's this quote by Dr. King that says, "If I can't do big things, great. If I can't do big things, I will do small things extraordinarily great." Right. So it's not about it's not if you're a rapper, right? It's not about going out and selling out a 500,000. I'm just making up a number, 25,000 seat stadium, right? It's not about that. Sometimes it's you know blow it. It's making good music and hyping people up when it's just like 90 people there, right? But those 90 people really felt what you were saying, whether you were rapping, you were singing, whatever you were playing the piano, guitar, whatever it was, right? Those 90 people more likely share that experience with maybe hopefully another 90 more people, right? Because the experience was quality. It wasn't just, it's 25,000, that's great. You still might share the, spread the word, but was it quality? Was it any good? Not how many did you do? Was it any good? You know,
Yeah.
what kind of legacy will our generation, Generation Z, what do you think we'll leave behind?
It's one of two things. It's one of two things. It's either, in my own words, we pick something up, try it out, and put it down 2 minutes later, or keep going until it's broken.
Okay.
And I say that because everyone in our generation is either trying to be famous or trying to do something else. And those of people who are trying to be famous they're either giving up as soon as they're like, oh yeah, I only got like 50 views on this, I'm done. Or they're just gonna keep going. And those people who are just gonna keep going are the people who are going to, I see our generation being worse in the 50-50 margin between broke and rich than our parents, for that very specific reason, because our generation is lazy, if I'm being honest. We're very lazy. We're very much I want to play a video game instead of going outside. I want to talk to this person on the phone instead of us going out to go find something to do. We're very much we grew away from the, hey, can I go outside and play of our youth, to hey man, just hop in the game. So like, us having that laziness, it even affects our work, because when I go to work, I work at a Walmart, so I see not only like a variety of different people, but a variety of different work ethics. So then there are the people who are like me, that it's like, all right, so I'm gonna pull up. Every time I get to work, I leave here. I work like 3 minutes away from my house. I still leave 15 minutes early. So when I get there, I've got about 10 minutes until I have to clock in. But I'll still clock in since I have to wait. I can't clock in more than 9 minutes early. Once that 9 minute mark hits, I'm clocking in. I clock in as soon as I get there. And then there are the people who are like, I got 9 minutes, so I have to clock in. I can be 9 minutes late. So they clock in 9 minutes late.
Yeah.
And it's split between our generation of the people who clock in when they get there and the people who clock in late. And those people who clock in late are just like, they're doing the bare minimum. So it's like, instead of doing a, what do I have to do to progress in my job? It's a, I'm here to get paid mindset. So instead of it being, I want to progress and I want to move up and I want to be the manager of this, or I want to own this, I want to be a boss of this. It's a, look, man, as long as you pay me, I'm fine. So you have the two people of, I want to sign the paychecks, and the people who, I don't care, just pay me. And between those two, like, those are the two legacies that we're going to leave behind. I hate to say that. And well, there's another one too. And it's sad because we tend to use mental illnesses as an excuse. And I don't want to knock people who actually have depression.
Yeah.
But for those people who actually have it, they identify their symptoms. They don't let it hinder them. When they get in their moods, they understand that, hey, I'm in it, and they let their loved ones and the people around them know, hey, I'm in it. But then there are the people who are just stressed and they're like, I'm depressed. And as a generation, as our generation, we can't do that, because at that point, that knocks the people who actually have a mental illness. It discredits them. So when they actually feel like, I should probably go see a doctor, people are like, oh, no one's going to believe me even if I do have it. So what's the purpose of it? So we have to move away from making excuses to finding what the problem is. So for people who are unhappy for whatever reason, instead of complaining about it, progressively find what you're unhappy about and find a way to fix it. And if you can't fix it, come to terms with that you can't fix it and just move on. That's the one thing our generation does terribly, is move on from bad situations.
Yes, very true. I'll say, just to counter that, I definitely agree, but to an extent, I agree to an extent. I think we will leave behind something different. Like, if you really think about it, just this decade that just passed, 2010 to 2020, it was proof that you could become, to your point, becoming famous. It was proof that you can be on HBO based on Vine. Right? It's proof that you become famous based off YouTube. It was proof that you become famous based off TikTok. So there's proof of becoming famous, or Instagram. There's proof becoming famous, becoming based off these things. So I think this time is this era is one of the most unique eras to make the biggest impact. If you really like, just prime example, that TikTok girl, what's her name, Charlie, right? 16 years old, made the girl with the dances, the one that the starter, made her debut, if you will, at 16. Right, her net worth is over 4 million. I think 8 million now, right? Based off TikTok. Something as simple as doing, and it wasn't even like it was her dance, it was someone else's dance. That's the thing. It was someone else's dance. She copied someone else's dance and then did it, got a lot of views, got a lot of attention. She kept that up, right? So to me, that's like, what a better time to do that. Like, that's a great, like, who would have thought that you can have a net worth of over $8 million by just copying someone else's dance on a social media account? Who knew? That to me blows my mind. If you really think about it, she's voice acting in movies now, bro. Like, to me, that blows my mind. I'm like, wait a minute, this girl is 16, mind you, 16. She's worth over $8 million, and the reason is because she got famous, or she got a lot of views based off some dances that she did on a social, bro. That's you. Some people might say, "Oh, that's lucky." I say, "Hey, what can you say, right? You can't get mad at her.
Yeah.
What her do? Take the views away? You can't take views away. Oh,
Yeah.
so it's
I
just
mean,
like
I didn't say that to say we're not unique,
I
because
got
we're
you. I got you.
definitely a unique generation.
Yeah, yeah,
We're
yeah,
probably one of the most intuitive and creative generations. We're
yeah, yeah,
probably
for sure.
the most creative generation. It's just commitment. There we go.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
that's true.
commitment.
Our mindset is very our mindset span is like 8 seconds. Very like I
Yeah.
feel that for sure. My mindset because like you were talking about earlier, like trying to become famous. That's why we're doing this YouTube channel.
Yeah.
but but like I think like I don't know about you, but I want to be famous for a. I know people are like I want to be rich but not famous. I can't say the same for me, bro. I really
Mm,
want people to know who I am, not because of oh look at me. I want people to see like hey I want somebody's dad or somebody's mom to look at their son or daughter and be like hey you see him right there, try to be like him. He's doing a good thing. You know, if you want to be like anybody else in the world, try to be like that boy right there, because that boy is something else, right? He's good character.
yeah.
That's kind of like where I want to be, why I want to be famous, bro. Because it's just like it's a
Yeah.
feeling to have, you know, like
Yeah. And like, I'm in the same boat. Like, I don't just want to be rich, because when you with in the words of P Diddy, more money, more problems.
yes,
So, but I want to do that, and I also want to be famous, but because like when you have this fame, you have pull, you have yeah, you have pull, you have people who follow you, and you have this persuasion on people. So when you go out and you're like, I'm gonna do something for this community, I want as many people to come out. If you have that fame, people are going to come out of different ages. You're gonna have people who are like somebody's great grandma come out there and be like, oh, come out here and I'll pour some lemonade for the kids. And then you
yeah,
have like little like 5-year-olds come out here and be like, I want to make the lemonade and whatnot. And then you have people anywhere in between. And like when you have that pull, because our generation is definitely going to be a generation that has that kind of pull. Because me and you know somebody who's TikTok famous,
yeah,
and like guarantee you, if he were to be like, "Hey, I want as many of you who live in this area to come out, and we're going to do something for the community," guarantee you at least 40 to 50 people are going to come out and do it. And that's what I want. I want to make it so that way. And once again, going back to Maryland, like I want to go up there. I want to go back to Baltimore and be like, all right, I want to go to one of these struggling neighborhoods, and I want to do something, whether it's buy their groceries or go out there and find the basketball park and be like, hey, we're gonna do a tournament, in the top 4 teams are gonna get money, and everybody else, like, it's a free tournament. All you got to do is just come in and play. Like I would love to do things like that, like how Common is in Chicago. I basically want to be what Common is in Chicago. I want to be that in Baltimore, basically.
bro, bro, yes. I y'all see what he's doing? See what he's doing? He's thinking big, right? See, and I promise I'll get back to the topic, but I feel like the viewers need to hear this. It is very important that you protect your dream that you have, no matter how big or small it is. Nobody, because there are times where I can tell you this, bro. There are times where I've tried to, and this is where I make a mistake at. I've told people my dreams, and they're like, "How are you gonna do that? How in the world are you gonna do that? There's nothing special about you. You don't have any unique abilities. You're not, this smart. Like, it doesn't matter. I have this. This is in my imagination, bro. This is in my head. So once it's in my head, I got it locked. Like I'm going for it. Like you're going for it. We're going for it. Right. So I definitely agree with you. I would love one day for us, both of us, to be have enough wealth to where or enough resources where we can go back to Baltimore and like just rebuild the neighborhoods, rebuild the schools, rebuild the community. Right. Make it to where it's flourishing. Make it to where Baltimore is not just this some low down, saggy, very depressed. Because I went there a couple years ago, and man, everyone's just like they're run down, like everybody's just run down to the ground. And I just want to go back to where you know everybody's baskets are full, right? No one is in
Yeah.
any kind of serious need. For the most part, the majority of people are living a life of convenience. That's wrong. Not to say
Yeah.
problems will not occur or arise, but to live a life of convenience is something that you should really, and I'm going to get to religion, but it works. You should really ask God for a life of convenience and see what he says. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And the way I wanted to go, I wanted to be like, I want to go to a community and go anyone who knows Baltimore knows or has seen the TV show The Wire that was filmed in Baltimore,
Mm-hmm.
also known as the best TV show that no one's ever watched. That's basically one of the headlines for the TV show, and it was filmed in Baltimore,
Yeah.
primarily fully in Baltimore. And the cast, there was a star-studded cast, but a lot of the cast were people who lived in those neighborhoods. And I want to go in and I want to change it from being, oh, this is just Baltimore. I want to change it for lack of like a better idea, no, a better way to say it. I wanted to go from like this is just a rundown neighborhood to people living like Al Capone, people living like how mobsters used to live. Like everybody went from, because how they did it, they went from down, under, just poor to they're wealthy and happy, their family's wealthy and happy. Everyone has everything they need and some of their wants. Now that's the big key, is some of your wants. You can't have everything. You can't
You
have
cannot.
most, just
You
some.
cannot.
So yes, that big 75-inch TV might look glorious, but live with this 40-inch TV. All right. Like I just need all my needs and some of my wants. That's
Yeah.
all I need, and that's all I want from my neighborhoods, from where I used to grow up. I want all of your needs to be settled,
Yep.
and most of it, and some of your wants. That's all. That's all people really need, man. That right there, like you said, a life of convenience.
Mm-hmm.
That's excellent right there.
Even Elon Musk, bro, does not have everything he wants. As rich as that man is, Jeff Bezos.
He could buy it.
Bro, Jeff Bezos is what? What is half a trillion? Can somebody explain? Half a trillion? How many zeros is that? Is that is that six? Is that half a trillion?
Too many zeros. He needs to donate
Half,
to us.
wow. So even then, so you'll never. The point is, you'll never stop wanting things. The more things
Yeah.
you want, you'll never stop wanting things. So don't get caught up in what you don't have. Get get into what you need, and then after you get what you need, be grateful for what you have. That way, if you're grateful for what you have, God will give you the things that you want, right? So if you're grateful for the things that you have, God will give you more things to be grateful for, because you're grateful for this little thing you have. You're like, man, this basket of for example, this basket of muffins is everything. Thank you, right? You're thanking God for this basket of muffins. You know what God's gonna do? He's gonna give you three more of those baskets. And on top of that, not only that, there's gonna be muffins and there's gonna be cookies in that basket. So not only that, you were grateful for just the muffins, you're now grateful for the basket of cookies and muffins now. See, God works. I promise I'm not taking it preachy, but God, God works in crazy, not mysterious ways, but God works in miraculous ways. He supplies all your needs, and your blessings literally run over. Like he gives you more than what you can handle, and it's like, wow, this is really, like, think about it this way, bro. The universe is so big. Like, if you really think about it, Earth, this is not it, bro. Like, just Earth, there's so much more, bro. Intergalactic, bro, like, that trips me out. The fact that there's another Earth, like, that trips me out. There's another Earth. There's a planet that we can survive on, just like this one. There's bro. There are billions and billions of galaxies. Wrap your mind around that. Billions and billions of, that's a lot of galaxies, bro. And we think this galaxy is big. To me, that's crazy. That in itself shows like, okay, God's something else. Like God is like pretty big. So
Yeah.
I got sidetracked. But yeah. All right, bro. Last topic. Lamar Jackson. Boom or bust. The two B's.
I love Lamar Jackson and I love the Ravens. I hate to say it, but I'm gonna say bust.
Ooh, interesting. Why so?
Simply because with a guy of Lamar Jackson's talents, anytime that he steps on the field, being the best athlete on the field, there is absolutely no reason. Yes, he's winning regular season games, but there's absolutely no reason for him not to make deep postseason runs. He did just change the narrative of not being able to win a playoff game. But congratulations, you beat a team that, to be honest, shouldn't have beat you in the regular season. I'm going to say bust, specifically because the coaching staff has done absolutely nothing for him. They formulated an offense around his legs, around his ability to run, and did not formulate an offense that progresses him as a quarterback. We went out and we drafted Mark Andrews, great draft pick.
Yeah.
One of the best draft picks I've seen from the Ravens for a tight end. But then on top of that, Marquise Brown, when you could have drafted other wide receivers who were true number ones right now, you drafted a guy who was a number 2 next to CD Lamb in college. You drafted the number 2 guy, the guy who was a complimentary wide receiver, and tried to turn him into a number 1 wide receiver. You can't turn a streak specialist into a route runner. It's not possible. So you go out there and you're like, okay, I got Marquise Brown, Willie Snead, a veteran, sure-handed. Okay, cool. Miles Boykin. Okay, yeah. Big body, can go out there and catch 50-50 balls. Lamar needs a true number 1 receiver. Every team, there's never been a team in the NFL to win a Super Bowl running the ball. And until Lamar Jackson can pass the ball, or they get Lamar Jackson some help on the offensive side of the ball, some wide receivers, a true number 1 receiver, he'll be categorized as a bust. It's the same thing as Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield, he can throw the ball, but can he win clutch games? Yeah, he can win clutch games regular season, but postseason, what about then?
You said the offense needs to stop using his legs.
Yeah, like history show Michael Vick did not win a Super Bowl. He was an electric player. He was fun to watch. He was great to play with. But when it came down to winning games in the playoffs, teams are going to try to hit you. Playoffs is the time where they hit the hardest. And if you're out here as a quarterback and you're running the football, no, you have to pass it. You cannot run. Yeah. And yeah, it's great to have a strong running attack. Thank you, J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards, for being tremendous running backs. But get a wide receiver. That's the one thing this team needs. If they had a wide receiver and they would mold Lamar Jackson into a dual threat quarterback like Patrick Mahomes,
yeah,
unstoppable. Mahomes can run, but he can also throw.
Exactly. Yep.
Like, you have Michael Vick 2.0, and they're trying to build the Falcons 2.0, but you can't build a 2.0. You have to build the original. So Lamar Jackson is a one-of-a-kind talent. He can throw a deep ball. Yes, he can throw, but he can throw. But if he doesn't have help, he'll be a bust. People were having the same conversation about Peyton Manning. It was Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning didn't win his first playoff game until he was 27. And until he won that first playoff game, people were like, he's a bust. He can lead us to the playoffs, but what about now? And as much as I love Lamar, I have to say the same thing. Until proven otherwise, that's basically what it is. He changed the narrative of, I can win a playoff game. Now change the narrative of, not only can I win a playoff game, I can go deep into the postseason. And it's not just on Lamar. That's on the coaching staff too. So if that coaching staff isn't going to help him, another coaching staff is going to come in and be like, hey, you're going to come in, you're going to be my quarterback, but I'm not going to let you run the ball. You're going to throw the ball, and I'm going to surround you around receivers. And then at that point, Lamar is going to come out here and be, boom, best player in the NFL. It'll be like Rondo. Regular season Rondo is he's Rondo. He's solid. But then you get to the playoffs, and then you got playoffs Rondo. So I'm being honest, I want playoff Rondo more than I want regular season Rondo. Playoff Rondo got that defense. He's gonna pull up and he'll splash some threes. And it's a different player. It's a mindset, and it falls back on the coaching staff more than it does the athlete. Because if the coaching staff isn't there to help coach you, you can be the best athlete. You can be the best player on the field and still get outsmarted. And that's how I see it. Because there are offenses that high powered, but then they get to a smarter defense, or they get not even the whole defense. They might get to a team that has a smarter cornerback and a smarter linebacker and lose the game. Because you can have all the athletes in the world, but if you don't utilize that athletic ability, I'll choose smarts over Braun any day, because congratulations, you can run your way to a brick wall, and all you have is speed. If all you have is speed, but you don't have the brains, you're just gonna run to the brick wall. Meanwhile, I might walk to that brick wall, but I'll look up and realize I can climb over that. I can get around that. So until basically coaching staff has to smarten up, and Lamar Jackson, I can't say he has to step up because he can't step up until the coaching staff smartens up. So I mean, until then, I love you. I hope you resign and stay in Baltimore. But at coaching staff, I need y'all to change my mind more than Lamar Jackson. Yeah.
All right, everyone. That is going to conclude this video. We appreciate and thank you guys for watching and listening. Please like and comment down below. Put some pressure on that notifications bell. And as always, share and subscribe to the RDK and Dom Universe channel for future videos.